Hello, this is Ernest from theartofbeinghuman.com with an input on how to do the work of Byron Katie. A question that often comes up is the question of doing the work on yourself. Are we allowed to do it? Does it work to do it? How do we do it? What to do about it? Now, first of all, yes, of course we are allowed to do it. You're allowed to do anything. You test it out, you experiment, you find out what works, and that's how you get wiser, and that's how you decide what works for you and what doesn't. Even Byron Katie has been out saying it's okay to do the work on yourself. Just go ahead. So no problems there. There are some challenges about doing it though. Now, first of all, let me put it like this, and this is from my experience. I myself do the work on one-liners regarding myself sometimes. It works, and sometimes you just have a phrasing where that's the one you want to work. What I never do is I never do an entire worksheet on myself. I found that to become self-attacking, self-bashing, and not very effective. One of the reasons why it's sometimes not very effective is that when we are seeing someone else, when we are judging someone else, it's very clear to us all the things that are wrong and what they're doing wrong and how foolish they are and so on. That's very clear. When we're judging ourselves, we are in the privileged position of being the judge, but also being the one experiencing it from the inside, why we did what we did or how we feel about it. So instead of having this very clear judgment, it becomes very muddled. It becomes we have all these explanations, all this self-justification, all these reasons, and so it's very easy for our mind to run in circles and do tricks with us. So when you're doing the work on yourself, it requires that you are pretty good at holding yourself, or it requires that you have a facilitator who can hold you so you don't run into story or slip out the back door or do some justification of some sort. So that's the first thing. The other challenge when you're doing the work on yourself is, of course, that one of the turnarounds doesn't work, the turnaround to the self. You can't do that one. So you're left with a limited range of tools. You simply can't do, and sometimes you can only do one turnaround then to the opposite. So you can do it. It requires a bit of skill, and it requires that you accept that there are some limitations to the range of what you can do. What I suggest instead is that you go to the moment that you are attacking yourself for. Let me explain. One case where you would probably want to do the work on yourself is you're sitting on your own, you're in your room, and you're just really regretting something you did. I'm stupid, I'm an idiot, I should never have done that. Let's say you spoke in a bad tone, or you said something to someone that you're regretting. I shouldn't have done that, and you're really attacking yourself. And now you want to do the work on, I should not have done that, I'm an idiot, and so on. What's far more effective is to travel back to the moment when you did this thing that you didn't want to do. Let's say you've been saying something unpleasant to someone else. You go back to that moment, and then you identify, what was I thinking and believing just before I said this thing that I'm now regretting? So instead of working from this moment now where you have your regret, you go back to the situation where you did the thing you now regret, and then you look at, what was I thinking and believing in that moment? Because in that moment, you almost certainly had beliefs about the other person. You had judgments and attacks on the other person. That's why you said what you said. And from there, you can then do a classic worksheet and a classic work session. And usually, in my experience, that will yield far better results than trying to work on yourself as you're regretting the problem in this moment. Also, and we can talk about that some other time, but there is the problem of motive. And usually when you want to work on yourself, like, I regret that I did this, I'm such an idiot, what you really want is to get to the turnaround, I'm not an idiot, and find your innocence. But this innocence will be much clearer to you if you travel back to the situation where you did what you didn't want to do and do the work from there. I hope that's clear. I hope that's helpful. I suggest you try it out. If you ever are in a situation where you feel, I need to do the work on myself, don't do it. Try to travel back to the moment where you did whatever it is you want to work on and look at, What were you thinking and believing in the moments leading up to that situation? As always, test it out, try it out, see where it takes you. And if you have any questions around that or anything else, feel free to contact me, send me an email, or find me on my website, www.theartofbeinghuman.com. Thank you.